This talk is entitled Between. My name is Fran Ward, and today is December 27th, 2020. We're between Christmas and New Year's. We are between 2020 and 2021. We are between COVID and a vaccine to end this nightmare of isolation. We just had the winter solstice, so we're now between the shortest day of the year and the longest. We're between fall and spring, between darkness and light. We're between the past and the future. Life is always between something. Every day, between sunrise and sunset. Every lifetime, between birth and death. We can be between jobs, between relationships, between meals. All the best assassins know that the time to pull the trigger is between heartbeats. How do I know this? The time between anything is called a bardo. Bardo is the state of existence between two lives on earth, according to Tibetan tradition. Bardo occurs after the death of the physical body of this lifetime and before returning to earth in a whole new physical form next time around. Bardo is a place and it is a time. Purgatory could be considered a bardo. The 100 is an American post-apocalyptic science fiction drama television series. Bardo in the 100 is the name of the extraterrestrial planet that became uninhabitable, leaving it without a breathable atmosphere. Bardo is a time of transition. It is a bridge between what happened when and whatever comes next. The Tibetan Book of the Dead, written in the 8th century, is a Buddhist funerary text to ease a person through death and into a favorable rebirth. The book is a kind of travel guide for the afterlife, and like the best guidebooks, its reassuring refrain is, "Don't panic." It's better to make a positive statement. "Keep calm and carry on," was the World War II stiff upper lip saying to raise the morale of the British public under threat of air attacks. The Victorian belief in British stoicism and remaining calm in adversity is a good model for us in this bardo. Do you ever wish you had a manual for life during our many transition times and bardos? Religion and spirituality have attempted to provide a roadmap for souls seeking a meaningful life. The Tibetan Book of Living and Dying may be an important guide, not just preparing to die, but how to live a better life. There are 7 teachings from the book on how to live and die well. It is about a book about the death of the unreal. It is a book to help us commit to living a spiritual life instead of only having the concepts of one. The refrain is, "Don't panic," so here are 7 steps to help us keep calm and carry on. Number 1, slip out of the noose of your habitual anxious self. The hard knocks of life can turn us into tense humans. One of the biggest issues with Westerners is we do not know how to relax. During our COVID hiatus, we have been given an opportunity to explore the art of true relaxation, like a cat asleep on its back, paws floating in the air, surrendering to the moment. Be at ease. Relax into your true nature. Think of your ordinary emotional self as a block of ice left out in the sun. If you are feeling hard and cold, let your aggression melt your negative emotions away in the sunlight of your meditation. Let peace work on you and enable you to gather your scattered mind. You will find your negativity disarmed, your aggression dissolved, and your confusion evaporating like mist into the sky. Number 2, know yourself. Ancient teachings urge us to realize the simplicity of spirituality. It is something natural and part of everyday life. Buddhism emphasizes discovering what lies beneath the false self and how to let go of whatever causes us to lose sight of what is real. To be with ourselves in quiet moments is essential to spiritual awareness and healing. Without our familiar props of noise and activity, we are faced with just ourselves, a person we may not know. Why have we tried to ensure that we are never left in silence? Being comfortable with ourselves in stillness is how we come to know ourselves. This COVID Bardo has provided us space and time to get to know ourselves. Number 3, spiritual truth is common sense. Spiritual truth is not elaborate. Layers of confusion peel away. You don't actually become a Buddha. You simply cease to be deluded. Being a Buddha is not being some spiritual Superman, but becoming a true human being. Spirituality is about moving from merely existing to really living without mental clutter. When we are eating an orange, for example, we should taste and experience that orange fully. We are not meant to be miserable or confused with mental debris. It is our birthright to be peaceful and content. This is for all of us, not just a few enlightened, chosen ones. Each one of us can reach a state of awakened consciousness. We all deserve to be free from suffering and mental clutter. Number 4, meditation unknots the mind. Meditation has incredible power on the mind. Devote the mind to confusion, and it will become a dark master of confusion. The gift of learning to meditate is the greatest gift we can give ourselves in this life. Only through meditation can we undertake the journey to discover our true nature and find the stability and confidence we need to live and die well. Meditation is the road to enlightenment. Quietly sitting, body still, speech silent, mind at peace, let your thoughts and emotions, whatever arises, come and go without clinging to anything. Devote your mind to meditation, and it will begin to unknot itself and find essential bliss. This one is big. Number 5, nothing ever works out as you want. We are powerless in stopping the force of the universe. Planning for the future is like going fishing in a dry gulch. Nothing ever works out as you wanted. So give up all your schemes and ambitions, the book says. There is great freedom in letting go of that which you cannot control. Let go and let God. Number 6, embrace impermanence and humility. What is born will die. What has been gathered will be dispersed. What has been accumulated will be exhausted. What has been built up will collapse, and what has been high will be brought low. It is humbling to consider that one day we will die and that there is nothing we can do to prevent this. We are powerless against this total certainty. Death is the one thing we can be sure of in life, and taxes, but I guess Tibetans didn't have those. Living in a man-made environment makes us forget how insignificant we are. Somehow our ego becomes overblown, knowing that all that is around us was made by man. When we live in the great forests or visit them or cross the ocean, we are at the will of nature and have a more accurate sense of our place in the world. Humility and respect for the forces of the universe engender gratitude and wonder. When we live from this place of humility and reverence, we open ourselves to higher inspiration, and life becomes extraordinary. The impermanence of all things is a liberating and humbling concept. And number 7, the optical delusion of separateness. A human being is part of a whole, the universe. We experience ourselves, our thoughts, our feelings as something separated from the rest, a kind of optical delusion of consciousness. This delusion is a prison for us, restricting us to our personal desires and to affection for a few persons nearest us. Our task must be to free ourselves from this prison by widening our circles of compassion to embrace all living creatures and the whole of nature. Learning to accept ourselves as a part of a whole gives us a greater capacity for compassion. Happiness is up to us. While the aim of the book is to support people to die a good death that will lead to a positive next life, the Tibetan Book of Living and Dying teaches us to live a happy life. It teaches about the interplay of life and death and is a spiritual classic for all seekers on a path to living a full and happy life. The book has been described as having the power to touch the heart and awaken the consciousness. It shows us how to follow a spiritual path in the modern world and provides teachings on the practice of compassion. The Dalai Lama says we must learn how to live well. We must cultivate peace in our mind and in our way of life. There is a song that sums up the 7 teachings. Pete Seeger wrote the lyrics. The birds sing it. Turn, turn, turn. It's from Ecclesiastes 3:1. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to gain, a time to lose, a time to rend, a time to sow, a time for love, a time for hate, a time for peace. I swear it's not too late. This weekend, I happened to watch 2 things streaming. One was the movie Soul on Disney by Pixar, and I was delighted and surprised to find out that it really is exactly what we're talking about today. It's about preparing the soul of each of us for being in this physical body in this lifetime and preparing the soul to go into the next body. And this must be a popular theme with the collective consciousness rising, because this theme occurs in Wonder Woman 84 that I saw yesterday that just started streaming. That also has a spirit going into a new body and discussing that openly. So we're in front of the curve. Surviving the between times, the Bardos, means learning to depend on God. We must remember that He always has us in view. He always hears us. We must praise and worship Him no matter what we are facing. We must learn that as we wait and go through the tough learning of the Bardos, we will come forth as pure as gold and reflect our Heavenly Father's glow to this darkened world. So let's keep calm and carry on, survive and thrive in the Bardos, the in-between times. We're here for each other. Happy Bardo. Happy New Year. Thank you.